everyone, thank you for watching. Jack here. Today we're going to take a look at doing a Hello World code to the Papilio DUO. And so first of all, you want to make sure that you follow the guide for installing Design Lab. And then once you have Design Lab, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to New Papilio Project, click on that icon. It'll come up and we're going to call this Hello World. Okay, it'll bring up a new window, and the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have our Papilio DUO board plugged in, and we're going to plug in to the FPGA port for this first part. So when we do that, we should see in Device Manager that our FPGA serial port comes up, and we can see that it's on COM5. So we want to set up Design Lab. We want to set the proper board type. We want to set it to the Papilio FPGA board and then the DUO FPGA. And we want to make sure we have the COM port set to the right port, which is COM5. Okay, that's all we should have to do with that. And the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to associate a blank ZPUino circuit with our sketch here. So to do that, we just type in define circuit and then ZPUino underscore vanilla. Okay, once we've done that, if we now click on view circuit, we should see that we're successfully associated with this circuit that has a ZPUino soft processor version 2.0, and all of the wishbone slots are empty, and all of the pinouts, so all the GPIO is basically nothing is connected to it either, so all the pins are acting as just straight GPIO. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we actually want to load the circuit to the FPGA. We click the load circuit icon, and we will see it loading the circuit. Okay, great. So now we've got our circuit loaded, and we're able to, next step is to write a sketch to that circuit. So this is the default sketch that comes up, and all it does is it blinks LED on pin 13. And let's just expand it a little bit, and let's put a hello world out on the serial port. So we do a serial.begin. We're going to run it at 9600, and then in our loop, let's do a serial.print line and type in hello world. Okay, great. So now next step is let's upload this sketch. This will upload the sketch to the Papilio, the ZPUino running on the FPGA. Okay, so we got it running. Let's bring up the serial monitor, and what we should see is when we connect at 9600 baud, it is printing hello world. And if we look at our camera, we should see right here that the LED is blinking. Alright, great. So that's what we want to do with the FPGA side. So next, let's run hello world on the AVR side. So to do that, let's go back to our hardware, and we're going to plug in the micro USB slot for the AVR. Okay, so now if we go and we look at our device manager, we should see, the other thing is I also had to flip up this user switch to I had to flip this to the up position because the particular circuit that we have running on this board has if we look at the circuit again, we can see down here that this is the Papilio reset. So what it's doing is it's controlling the reset line of the AVR chip, and it's connecting it to the user switch. So when we put that switch in the up position, the AVR runs, we put it in the down position, it stops. It holds it in a reset. Okay, so now let's minimize this and let's close this. So if we go into our device manager, we should see that the Duo AVR is running, or it's up and it's available on COM3. So now if we're going to run this same Hello World sketch on the AVR, one of the first things we want to do is we want to remove the ZPUino soft processor from the FPGA. Otherwise they're going to clash and they're both going to be trying to blink the LED at the same time. So the way we do that is we do the define circuit, and instead of ZPUino vanilla, we're going to do blank, if I could type it right. Okay, so now if we hit view circuit, we should see that there's no ZPUino anymore. The only thing that is connected now in that circuit is the reset. So the same reset functionality is in place. So now we've associated it with a blank circuit. Next we have to load that blank circuit to the FPGA. Okay, great. So now in Device Manager we're seeing the bootloader come. It should stay for 7 seconds and then it will start into the regular AVR, the sketch on the AVR. So if we go and we look at our board now, we should see that the LED is not blinking because we removed that ZPUino. So when we put in the blank circuit, we wiped out the ZPUino soft processor, so there's nothing left anymore that's actually blinking that LED. That sketch isn't running anymore. So now we're going to run that same sketch, on the AVR. So if we go to Tools, we go to Board, we go to AVR, and we're going to want to choose AVR USB, and then we need to change the serial port to match this, which is the AVR serial port. So we want to go to Tools, Serial Port COM3, and we should be live. We should be able to now hit upload, and it will upload the sketch. This time, as we can see down in the corner here, it's uploading it to the AVR over the USB port. The USB port is on COM3. If we watch Device Manager, we're going to restart into the bootloader real quick. It loads the sketch and then it resets it back into the serial port. So we should be live at this point. So now if we go and we hit serial monitor and we're on COM3, which is the AVR COM3, we should see Hello World. And if we look at our camera, we see that the LED, I know it's probably hard to see, but the LED is blinking. And so the difference here is before we were running it the same sketch on a soft processor on the FPGA, and now we're running it on the actual AVR Atmega32U4 chip. So I think that covers it. I think that's a Hello World example, and hope that helps out. Thanks a lot for watching.